the sounds of life.
Hello world, this is Hassan Khan. Firstly, I hope this message finds you and your families well during this lockdown period. I hope that you are listening to the government guidelines. I do hope that you're washing your hands longer than 20 seconds. But please tell me, are you singing that happy birthday tune that would make Britney Spears or your Michael Jacksons of this world proud? I am one of the Metro Blind Sport cricketers. I like to think an active member, but I also captain the Metro development team, Metro Devils. We are all on lockdown mode, but we will get through this, believe you me. And when we do, we will get out onto those tennis courts, to those cricket pitches and football pitches. I do think once this is over, there might be a bit of a riot. Well, not quite literally, but perhaps the population might double in a year. And I reckon the divorce lawyers are going to make their millions. Now, this is one of many interviews I'm hoping to bring you over the next few months. And perhaps biasly, I've picked two cricketers to start with. Now, these two gentlemen have two different stories. They play for Metro and Metro Devils respectively. And you know what? I can say this honestly. They are two of the nicest blokes playing cricket right now. I am hoping you've looked at our website as well as our YouTube channel, and that you now know how blind cricket works, because the point of this interview is to get more personal. We all watch men and women play sport, but do we actually know what their lives are like before they cross that white line? Now then, I've taken the liberty of inviting myself into their bedrooms, well, perhaps in their dreams. Anyways, let's go over to Mujahid and Amit. Hello guys.
Hi, hello. Hi, Moj.
Hello, Amit.
Are you alright?
Yeah, so far so good. A bit frustrated with all this lockdown business, but
Yeah,
can't wait to get out there,
that's right.
either in the nets or in a, playing in a match.
Yeah.
I mean, before we move on to the cricket stuff, can you both tell me how you're coping? What are your coping mechanisms? There'll be people out there listening to this. They might not know about podcasting and what have you. So, how have you been spending your time?
Well, I've been sort of started reading books on audio books on the app. I've finished quite a few books. I've been always had problems finishing books in the past, but I've been reading lots of books.
Any books you can recommend to listeners?
Well, I just finished the Winston Churchill autobiography book.
Wow, we will fight them on the beaches.
Yeah, it was quite interesting.
Yeah, I expect so.
Yeah.
What about you, Mudge? So, books is keeping Amit going for now. What about you, Mudge?
Me, I up till the lockdown, I was very active. So I used to go, swimming and ice skating, and as well as having this cricket in the summer, and even go rambling actually with the blind ramblers. So I was really, really active, and now I'm beside myself, going crazy, and really finding it very frustrating. I'm very lucky, very fortunate, because I've got a garden. So I go out in the garden and I do my. I did 4 kilometers today. Did 4 kilometers yesterday. Did a couple before, day before that. Just walking around, around the garden. I've got a Bluetooth speaker which I put on a table, and I just put some music on and put some noise on, and I orientate myself around the garden, walking around the garden. That's what I'm doing.
I mean, you know that this period is going to affect people mentally. It's going to affect people physically, and of course, Mujahid, you talk about being frustrated. I really want to delve into your cricketing backstory, because as far as I know, you came back to cricket just last year after 20 years. But tell me in your words how you found cricket and what it's brought you over the last year or so.
Oh, I've had an amazing year. of cricket last year. I started. I think it was you told me on one of these meetings that we had in Lambeth. You actually told me that it was that you were playing cricket, and I thought, get me in there, let me have a go. And there was a trial session at Lord's in January of last year. So I went along to there. I met Rory Field, who gave me a bit of training with bowling. And I just loved it. I thought it was amazing. I actually we did a bit of fielding as well, so I nearly took a couple of catches. Didn't take anything, but I just found the whole thing quite exciting. And then before I knew it, I was picked for a team. I was asked to give my availability. And I was like a child. Who had his dream. Especially because compared to, I don't know if you know anything about blind cricket from years ago, but it was nothing like it is now. I mean, we have the full kit where we're out in there's proper officials, you got the umpires and the scorers, and it's incredible. And you really are in a match situation. So before, I used to just listen to 5 Live Extra, hear these matches hear these situations that the teams would get with themselves into, where there was only few runs to get to win the match, or not to lose a match, at the end of the over. And then before I knew it, I was actually in that situation. Absolutely incredible.
I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but I remember speaking to you last year, and you saying you think you heard me on the radio, and it was like speaking to someone, God forbid, a celebrity. But there you were last year doing the very same thing that I was doing, which was playing cricket.
Absolutely. I thought that was wonderful. I heard you actually on 5 Live where one of the commentators was bowling to you, and the fact that you had all this crowd, you had all this profile, and I thought it was wonderful. And then you're right. Yes, I was in that situation myself. I found it incredible actually just to be in a match where the score is up on the scoreboard.
Your name's on the board.
Yeah, years ago, many years, in the late 70s or 80s, cricket wasn't like that. There was no kit, there was no proper officials, and you'd get some really, really dubious decisions, half of which were just, either where you were absolutely plainly out, and they would say, no, it's right, give him another go. It was very kind of humiliating.
Maybe they had blind umpires as well.
Yeah, maybe.
Behave.
maybe. But these days it's more. It's much. What I experienced last year was much more reflective of the real game, and that's what I love.
You talk about years ago. Tell me how long ago you last played cricket before last year, why you left it, and why you come back to it.
Well, I did have a few matches. I think there was a London Sports Club at that time. There weren't many ethnic minorities in the game, which there are now, which is another thing I love about it. It's a beautiful atmosphere now. I left it because it wasn't like the real thing. People kind of felt sorry for you. There's the charitable side of it was too much for me. I didn't like that, and now it's more competitive and more like the real thing. And one of the things that I loved, I think you said, was if you don't really want to play, if you don't want to win, then you shouldn't be here. You've got to want to win to play the match, to play a match. And I thought that was very good. And there wasn't so much. I mean, that spirit was there before, but it wasn't as much as it is now. People get quite serious. People get quite serious about it, and I like that. I think it's good.
Absolutely. For those of you not aware, we have two teams. So Metro that play primarily in the main league, and then they play a T20 tournament and a knockout cup. But the Devils, who's a development team, of course, the point of that team is to develop, but we are also fighting on 3 fronts, i.e. playing in the development league, in a T20 cup, and the development cup. So, Muj, I'm going to put you on the spot. You've had a fantastic season. What is one highlight or a few highlights of your last season?
The biggest highlight for me has got to be, it wasn't actually a match. I think it was an occasion where they brought the World Cup trophy for us to take photos with, and so it was a bit of a photo op. And we had a little practice session afterwards, and they got me to bowl, and I bowled this YouTuber out completely. The first ball I bowled was completely wide, load of rubbish, no ball, and slow and rubbish, whatever. And the next ball I bowled was just on off stump, and and it got captured on camera. And when all my nephews and nieces saw it, they said, "Oh my god, that was so sick the way you bowled." And I thought, my god, that gave me a lot of confidence. It wasn't even a game, it wasn't even a match, but for me that was the highlight for me of last year. I've got to say that, you know, since I've become a part of the cricketing, the blind cricketing world again, you know, my quality of life has gone up a notch, definitely, and I'm very grateful to all those I've played with. Amit, he's very good at giving tips, and you know, it's actually a pleasure to play with the likes of with this
Not only
guy.
cricketing tips,
About cricket, or just other tips? Actually, this is before 9 p.m, so we may
Yeah,
just
of
have
course,
to filter this. So yeah, you talk about Amin. You just have to Google the name because God knows. I mean, you play cricket, you play bowls, and it's actually a really apt time to now mention that Metro Blind Sport isn't just about cricket. They do. And boys, please feel free to chip in here. They do tennis, bowls, skiing,
archery.
swimming, archery, football, you name it. And I'm hoping you've actually looked at the website now and you've seen all the different sporting activities that they do. Why did you join Metro and when?
Well, I went to a training center for the blind to learn IT skills in the late 90s, and I met a friend there, and he said he's plays blind cricket for London Sports, and would I like to come and join? And I did. I always liked the game of cricket. I mean, I remember the time that my brother had a team in the Middlesex League, and I was so frustrated because I couldn't see enough to play the sighted cricket, and I used to go on Sundays and sit there, try to follow the game. And
Yeah.
now I've got an opportunity to play myself. It was a great feeling, and as soon as I went once, and they liked me, and I sort of got on with them, and then started playing, and it was fantastic.
Then you moved from London Sport to Metro, what, 2004, 2005? Yeah.
And I joined them about 2003, 2004. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Why did you switch clubs?
It was great fun, but I didn't think I was sort of. I wanted to improve
It's
myself.
okay. You can say it now. They don't exist.
No. It's just that.
Oh, you still got some of them listening though, I bet. Be careful a little bit what you're saying.
No, it's just I wanted to improve myself, and
Yep.
sort of my bowling and batting, and I thought, and Metro was such the top team that wins everything.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to better myself. I thought I'm not going to sort of improve in this, and I just wanted to test myself. So I joined Metro in about 2003.
I think it was just after that 2003 season, because the 2003 was my first season.
Yeah.
And you joined us for the 04 season, because I remember organising a fundraiser for Metro against my old school, and
Right.
they brought this B1 cricketer, and I thought, oh God, my place is under pressure now. And there you were with Metro, 2004. But what did playing for Metro lead you to?
Well, it led me to play for England. Well, I mean, most of the players played for England were playing for Metro at that time, so sort of I got more. I know it's totally two different games, with a little ball with England and a big ball with the domestic game, but they saw me sort of improve, and sort of then I got an invite to go for the trainings, weekend training sessions for England. I think it was about, you might know, it's about 2009 or 2010. So I got a call up for England, and I was absolutely delighted because I was getting on a bit in life. So I thought I missed my chance now. It was so nice to get a call.
That's fantastic.
That is brilliant.
Amazing.
So you played cricket for your club. You've represented your country. What was your highlight of playing for England? I know I'm talking on your behalf, but you're an Ashes winner for the England blind cricket team.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, it was just being with all the things that go with playing for England, sort of the teammates, and you traveling together, and wearing that shirt. First time you go out, you're wearing that shirt, the England shirt, bowling to this England, India, and Pakistan uh, great teams.
That
It's
must have been a
amazing.
fantastic experience. That must have been
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah, I can
yeah.
imagine.
What about your first wicket? Because that's something you really have to touch on.
Well, I think when I took that first wicket against, I think it was West Indies. I think I bowled the B1 out. I don't think so. You saw it.
I'm not sure if it was a B1.
He didn't see that one coming.
Nor did I.
I don't know if it was a B1, but tell me about how you felt. Muj mentioned it earlier. We are three of us are from the BME community. What was it like as someone from the Indian background playing for England, blind cricket, representing both India and England, if I may say so?
Oh, it was absolutely fantastic. I mean, it was a story that there was a story that some of my family friends were in America, and they heard that I was playing for England, and there are fireworks and all that going off in America.
Oh, must have been
That's
fantastic. I can
wow.
imagine. I can imagine.
Wow. You talked about the social side. Tell me a bit more about that, both of you. But Amit, tell me about the international social side. What did you do? Where did you travel to?
Well, we've been to Bangalore to the World Cup, and we've been to South Africa. We've been to Australia to play the Ashes. We had our own team room in India and South Africa, so you can do whatever you like in the room, play cards or play games. So it's a team bonding sort of sessions we used to have, games. It was great fun.
Last year was absolutely fantastic. You know, we had beautiful weather last year, and I probably travelled all round England. We went from York to Yorkshire, Bristol, Dorset, Leicester, everywhere. We were absolutely fantastic, and there was one of the matches. I think that we were losing, but there was something quite beautiful about being out in the middle of this field while there was a steam train going on in the background, and I thought, what an idyllic kind of place to be at that time. Beautiful weather out in Somerset in the middle of a cricket match. Who would want anything more than that? I thought it was wonderful.
So your family are driving out to see you play cricket. Did you feel more pressure knowing that someone was watching you? Now, the reason I say that is because a lot of cricketers say that, and a lot of cricketers actually stop their parents from coming.
I didn't feel extra pressure. It's funny. Some days you feel good, and some days you're a bit more nervous than usual. It all depends how you are, what sort of form you're on that sort of period. Even like bowls or cricket, the bigger the crowd, the more excited I get.
Both of you now, look, mental health is something that's really quite important. We should be talking about it. Statistically, if you're disabled, you're more likely to suffer from mental health. How has mental health played a part for you? And you don't have to go into your personal stories, but how has it helped you to be in and around the Metro team?
I think I've already mentioned earlier on that since I've played last year, since I got involved with it last year, I reckon that my quality of life has gone up a notch. With regards to mental well-being. I like being active. I like swimming. Like I said, as I said earlier on, with swimming and ice skating and whatever. And what an opportunity to get involved with the lads and to be in a team situation. I do enjoy it, and like I said, I think my quality of life has gone up, and well-being is all the more because I'm involved with Metro and the Devils. Actually, I was very fortunate to be picked and played for the big boys, for the Metro, which I'm absolutely incredible considering I just joined up last year, and very very novel to it.
When we got to the cup final, we tried to stay the night before in a hotel. We'll go out and have a meal. So do you both remember that night?
Yeah, that
in
was
Bristol?
fantastic. Yeah,
the night out in
right.
Bristol.
Well, we went to that restaurant.
We had an Indian. We had a curry.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, I mean, I told you this story privately before. In the late 90s, I was going to real hell. I was partially sighted, and my eyes were going down, and I didn't know what the future's going to be.
So you're losing your sight gradually. Sorry, you were losing your sight.
I was losing my sight gradually. I had hardly any friends, no one to talk to. other personal family problems. So I was going through in a little rut of depression. And I went to this college for the blind and started playing cricket, and it just changed my life. Sports can change your life. You meet people that they are in your same boat, and you can pick up ideas. And I used to see other people, blind people, and just look at them and hear them and say, look how confident he is, how clever he is. He's got a brilliant job. So why can't I be like him?
Absolutely.
People look at able-bodied people and get inspired. But why don't you look at disabled and blind people and look at them, how much they've achieved? Like someone like Mike Brace, he lost his sight when he was 10, and look where he's been. Amazing.
Both of you have been amazing, and both of you have touched on this. But say if you're talking to someone who isn't really sure about taking up a sport, taking up cricket, and it's not a secret, I love my technology, I endorse it, but I think nowadays we're now getting too used to our remote controls and our PCs when we should be out there batting, bowling, throwing a ball, kicking a ball. What would you say if you were to invite someone to come and give the game of blind cricket a go?
I would say give the have a go sessions. Give that a go, because that's where it all started for me. It was a cricket have a go session. I just went along, and I think I just kind of went along on a casual just to fill time, and it just turned into something else. Ever since then, every session of cricket that I've had has been enjoyable. And so I would urge anyone out there, if you're considering, doing something like this, or even if you don't know whether you can or not, come to these one of these have a go sessions, and take it from there. That's what I would say.
And Amit, is it fair to say that it's aimed at everyone, regardless of your gender, age?
Absolutely, anyone
Definitely
can
age
have.
with you two.
Yeah. No, Mush is quite younger than me, I think. No, but I think
Actually, I think he's older than you.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
No, I'm younger. Than
No, you're not.
He's in his
You're not.
40s.
He's
No.
not
No,
in
I'm
his
in my
40s.
50s.
Sorry?
Anyway,
He's not.
forget that.
Anyway,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm young. I'm young.
He's young.
I'm teenager.
He's young
I'm
looking.
teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's also important to mention that none of us really had, well, you guys might have had, but when I started, I didn't have the skills. It was more the passion. And eventually you pick up those skills.
That's right. Yeah.
Finally, once we're out of this lockdown, and hopefully we will get out of this, what is your future plans? What is your ambition?
I'd like to play for the big boys again. I'd like a couple of more matches with the big boys, because I think I only got in because certain people were absent and not available, and it was wonderful. I just got in by chance, but I was very lucky, very fortunate, and I could do with playing with the big boys again.
I think my ambition would be take 5 wickets in a match. Sort of.
I've had that ambition since I was born. Still never going to achieve that.
I've taken 3 catches in a match, but I've never taken 5 wickets in a match. So for a team, sort of win many medals as we can for next 4 or 5 years.
I don't know about you, but I thoroughly enjoyed that. I always enjoy talking to you boys. Thank you so much. Now, if you want to hear further interviews, then please do like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and for further information, why not visit our website, www.metroblindsport.org. Until next time, signing off, Hassan Khan.
This is the moment. It's Archer to Guptill. 2 to win. Guptill's going to push for 2. They've got to go. It's got throws, got to go to the keeper's end.
England down and out.
One of the lowest points in English history. Remember the name.
He's got it. England have won the World Cup by the barest of margins. By the barest of all margins. Absolute ecstasy for England.